Hello and welcome back to the channel. Amber here, and today we are breaking down episodes 1 and 2 of Apple TV's newest sci-fi show, Murderbot, which is an adaptation of Martha Wells' book series, The Murderbot Diaries. And my short review is this. The standout for me is Murderbot itself. I actually really enjoy the voiceovers and the frustration, humor, and very slow beginnings of emotional growth. This series is going to really hit home with all the cynical introverts out there. Feelings, gross. Group humming sessions, disgusting. Small talk, yep, sign me up for the acid bath. We're exploring all of Murderbot's vulnerabilities the moment it can no longer obscure its face. And the themes really match up with the books. The question of autonomy and how to proceed with it once Murderbot hacks itself. The feelings of alienation by a character that would rather watch soap operas than deal with actual people. Also, the duality of control versus care. The company sees Murderbot as property, but the research team sees Murderbot as something else. Lastly, violence versus choice. Murderbot is built to kill, but chooses not to. The choice and question of free will and how to proceed with it is going to be a big cornerstone of the story. And the first 2 episodes worked for me, and to an extent matches the tone of the books with a little added quirkiness. The books are a bit more serious, but I think the humor and overall whimsy of the science crew adds a little pizzazz. It's a fun hook, and the almost sitcom-like style of it all makes it stand out compared to Apple TV's other sci-fi offerings. But it does land on what I was looking for. The sarcasm, the discomfort of Murderbot is dry and cynical. The pacing is at a fast clip, and with only 10 episodes, it's easy to see why they come in at around 30 minutes each, because the books themselves are fairly short. But with only 2 episodes in, it's a bit hard to see where it will go. I'm definitely hooked, and critics who have seen the full season have been overwhelmingly positive. So my only real complaint is waiting a week for only 30 minutes per episode, which isn't a huge deal. And before we jump into the episodes, if you would like to help support the channel, check out Road to Valon on Patreon and YouTube memberships. And if that isn't your thing, you can also help by liking this video and subscribing to the channel. So let's jump into it. We open on a dirty, lifeless planet, a corporate mining site. The humans there are insufferable. They're celebrating, dancing, drinking, and just generally being obnoxious. Some even burn the sec unit for fun. And that's our main character, Sec Unit 238776431, played by Alexander Skarsgård. And the Sec Unit is a construct. It's part machine, but part organic, blurring the line between human and machine. The humans don't know it yet, but this bot has just hacked its governing module. No more control and no more orders. It's free. Or is it? Because with free will comes more challenges. And at first, it doesn't even have a name. So it decides on Murderbot. Not because it murders, because it does seem to avoid violence when it can, but it could. And Murderbot is chosen by a research team for a new assignment. A group of non-corporation scientists, the kind who talk to their sec unit instead of around it. They are a feely bunch, which makes Murderbot very uncomfortable. So let's take a look at the setting, which is called Port-Free Commerce. It's a space station on Corporation Rim, a group of planets and space systems controlled by mega corporations. And the main one is just called the company. And the company runs everything: travel, security, research permits, supplies, and personnel. If you're working anywhere in the corporation rim, you're doing it under their rules. They lease out the security bots and other equipment, and like we saw earlier, these bots are governor controlled, meaning they're forced to follow commands. They can't act independently. And after missions, the bots are wiped and repurposed. There's no long-term identity or rights. And this leads us to our research team from Preservation Alliance, which is led by Dr. Menza, an expert on terraforming. For the most part, she is outwardly calm and smart, and kind of acts like the only adult in the room. Garathan is sharp, standoffish, and very clearly suspicious of Murderbot. He's a human with implants to help enhance his neural capabilities. Then there's Bardawaj, a geochemist. Arata, the biologist, who is married to Pinlee, the lawyer. They are grounded, funny, and very touchy-feely. Last is Rati, their close friend, or maybe more. And he has real golden retriever energy, lovable, quirky, and extroverted. And the scientists expect things to be safe or at least somewhat straightforward. They have the type of outlook that expects basic ethical standards because they're from a culture that values life and autonomy. To them, forcing a sec unit to work for them is slavery. The company says that the research group needs a sec unit for insurance, so they pick the refurbished cheap one, Murderbot. They don't know it's hacked, they just want to study stuff. And Murderbot keeps its distance, running security checks and glued to its favorite human soap opera, The Rise and Fall of Sanctuary Moon. Call it its special interest because it uses the show to decode human behavior. And badly. Murderbot's social awkwardness is the joke, but that's also the point. The discomfort is always visible, even when Murderbot is constantly scanning. It's never at ease. Then comes the action sequence. As Murderbot watches the rise and fall of Sanctuary Moon, a huge centipede-like creature barrels towards the team. Murderbot saves Bardawaj violently but effectively, and Arata panics. To calm her, Murderbot removes its helmet, showing a human face under the armor. It even tries to connect with her using lines it learned watching Sanctuary Moon. Not well, but it tries. And this moment shifts things. The research group starts to see Murderbot differently, especially Garathan, who pushes harder. He wants to shut down Murderbot. He believes it's malfunctioning because it tried to connect with the survivors by showing its face and asking personal questions. As Murderbot repairs itself, it is asked to join the crew. So the crew looks at their maps and notices it's missing some hazard warnings. And obviously, this is a red flag because dangerous areas should not be playing hide and seek. The map shows no signs of tampering, but isn't syncing properly, so they decide to go check out one of these mystery areas. Obviously, when they get there, surprise. Yep, it's just as sketchy as the map forgot to mention, but we'll get to that later. As the episode closes, Murderbot has a foggy memory of carnage, something it was involved in. We then roll into episode 2. Bardawaj is still recovering, but the research team allows her to go join them while they explore the other mysterious areas. And one of my favorite things is watching Murderbot struggle with the carelessness of the humans. All it knows is its job. It's built to protect, but we are made to question if that's really all it is. It now has free will. Murderbot could, of course, choose to not care when the humans are reckless, but it twitches in anger at the carelessness of the team throwing themselves into danger. Gurathan then calls Murderbot out for a private talk. He's testing it. He demands eye contact. He wants to know its past. Why was it refurbished? And Murderbot doesn't know because its memory was wiped. But Gurathan doesn't back off. In one of my favorite scenes, Murderbot snaps back with a disturbing image of the team's throuple in bed. It's hilarious and pretty effective. He knows Gurathan is poking around in its mind, so it uses what it knows best, discomfort, to force Gurathan to back off. And one of the big highlights for me is the interactions between these two characters. I really like Gurathan in the show because the actor nails the mix of cold logic and slight animosity. But what really works for me is how much he mirrors Murderbot. They don't like each other because deep down, they're too alike. Two hyper competent, socially awkward, emotionally stunted tech people with control issues. One is a human with trauma and suspicion, and the other is a cyborg with social anxiety and an existential crisis. And neither one has the tools for healthy conflict resolution, or basic trust for that matter. It's a mess, a wonderfully awkward, passive aggressive mess. Meanwhile, on the expedition, Menza finds something, a hillside full of dead centipede alien bodies, not killed but wiped out by something that seems environmental. The team sends out a drone, but it's destroyed by a force field. And all of this is missing from the company data. Whatever it is, it's dangerous. Back at base, Menza skips out on Gurathan's apology and heads straight for the shower, and the team holds a meeting. They come to a theory. Whatever that was at the other site is alien tech, and that means a total shutdown. If it is alien, the rules mean banning any interference. So they try to contact a nearby team, but nothing. No signal, no response. They decide to go in person, but this time with Murderbot. Even Gurathan agrees this time. Unfortunately, they get no response from the other site. The other team is gone, dead. Even their sec units are absolutely ravaged. And that's it. The pilot does exactly what it should. A good action sequence, it builds the world and ends with a tense hook to keep people invested. I'm really looking forward to next week, and I'm excited to see more of Murderbot's abilities to multitask. We caught a glimpse of it while it watches Sanctuary Moon and jumps into action, but I'm excited to see just how much it can juggle because that was always one of the book highlights for me. The team has some hard questions to ask. Did someone just forget to update the map, which would be careless? Or is someone out there messing with them on purpose? Either way, they aren't going to wait around and find out. Next episode, we should get more investigation before the planet decides to kill them all. And that wraps things up. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and I'll see you back next time.